Alright, so most of the people who offered to help me how I needed, I wasted all of my time and money trying to jump through all of the hoops that all these people want me to jump through. Sean, if you do this, 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 and this, I'll help you. So I do the things that they want, and they don't help me. These people don't help me. They don't keep their word. Franklin Combs, aka Peace. Um, Peaches, her real name is Kayla Trujillo. Now, my issue with Kayla Trujillo is that between coming forward to the police or trying to pawn me off on Franklin Combs, she tried to pawn me off on Franklin Combs, told me that he was willing to take me there in Florida. I just had to find a way to get there. I got a hold of Franklin Combs. Miss Peaches was full of shit. But then well, not her necessarily, although she has. Raja actually did it publicly. Decided to treat me like shit because I'm not able to do what it is that they want me to do. Meanwhile, the things that they said that they would do, they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't. They just kept procrastinating. One excuse after another, after another, after another, after another. Just like Tabitha, just like Graham. So I want you to imagine that you need to make a phone call. It's an important phone call. You need to be able to pay attention to this phone call. Let's say you're calling the police, right? And you need to actually sit down and work. You need to be able to concentrate on what it is that you're working on. But then you've got somebody screaming in the background at a couple of 3-year-olds that they're cunts. Or a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old that they're bitches. And you got this stuff you need to get done. And you're doing your best to do it. Are you going to make that phone call to the police while that's going on? Meanwhile, these people want to keep that shit private. Except that shit is the reason that I can't do the things that I need to. I mean, literally, at Tabby's, everybody was great. Everybody was great, with the exception of Joshua Eichelberger. But the other thing is, I paid for services that were not rendered. I understand Tabitha has 6 children, so she's in a desperate situation, just like Ken. Ken's got 4 kids of his own. The problem is that I'm not able to take care of myself because of the abuse that I have been through. The things that you guys got to learn growing up, I didn't get to learn growing up. What I learned growing up is that white kids are hated in the system. What I learned growing up is that your parents probably don't give a shit if you're in the system. What I learned is that rich white kids go to institutions. Poor minorities and also poor white children, well, they go to different facilities. I ran out of cigarettes, so I'm smoking out of an aluminum pipe again. All of these people who are pissed off at me are pissed off because I was unable to do the things that they expected of me. Oh, Sean, well, you should have just taken screenshots. I didn't know how. And then once I did know how, nobody was going to fucking look at them anyway. And if I did post them up, people are going to go out of their way to try to pretend like I'm a bad person for trying to show the truth. I need Rihanna to come forward and be honest. I need Danica to come forward and be honest. I need all of these people to come forward and be honest, from Peaches on forward. Thing is, I was trying to get help, to get the abuse to stop before Natalie fucking died. I was suicidal over the fucking abuse. over the fact that because I couldn't go do all of the free work that all of these poor people wanted me to do, I no longer mattered to them. With Miss Rayanna, she's got a drinking buddy now. That next door neighbor, she should have never been involved in any of it. She's an alcoholic too. She's also saying to me and Rayanna that it's okay to slap those girls across the face. I'm like, no, it's not. Well, if my daughter had talked to me like that, I don't give a fuck about your daughter. I don't. We're not talking about your daughter. We're talking about a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old. If you give them consequences and you follow through with those consequences, those children will change their behavior. But if you get drunk and give up after 20 minutes, let them go do whatever the fuck they want again, and then bitch at them again because they did whatever the fuck they wanted, you're being a fucking idiot. Everybody pawned me off onto somebody else. From Miss Peaches to the police to my public pretenders. It's nobody's job to do their goddamn job. It's nobody's job to keep their word. Nobody is held responsible for the things that they did to me. But you hold me responsible for how I had to defend myself. No matter what. If I go back to see my loved ones in Colorado or Nebraska, I will be punished because I spoke out against the police. And cowards like Laura Nelson could have done something but didn't. To this day, Laura Nelson could do something, but she won't. Because these people are Christians. Christians don't admit when they fuck up. Especially not Aunt B. She said, you know, Sean, I always thought of you as a son. But then Natalie died. And that went right out the fucking window. She will call me once in a great while. Once in a very great while. She makes no effort on her own to get a hold of me. She has to be prompted. How can you consider me a son if you could throw me away so easily? Now, she didn't keep her word as far as the mailbox went, and that fucked me severely. All of the things that I did that could have given me an honest day in court, people just didn't fucking care. Laura didn't care. Brenda didn't care. Brandon Ratner didn't care. When they have issues and they have problems, I do something. It doesn't take me a whole goddamn year. Brandon Ratner. It didn't take me a year to make a post about his brother missing. When Natalie disappeared, it didn't take me a whole year to make a post about her missing. When Brittany disappeared, it didn't take me a year to post about her missing. When Hannah Pendergrast and Sarah Rubiolo disappeared, it didn't take me a whole year to make a post about them missing. When Shauna Sinclair's daughter and Mandy Singer's son ended up missing, it didn't take me a whole year. It didn't take me a whole year to try to make a police report. I tried hundreds of times. You should have tried going to the police. I fucking did! Without somebody there in person, I am victimized! And all these people that promised to help, they didn't keep their word. And then they treat me like I'm a bad person for saying, hey, I'm being fucked because you're not keeping your word. You promised you would help. I jumped through your hoops for that help. Where is that help? All of my money is gone. I spent it hoping that you would keep your goddamn word, Peaches. Rihanna, Alicia, Natalie, Danica, Shelly, fuck you! And all these people got money coming in. All of these people who did fucked up shit to me have money coming in. People who are in my position physically have people to care for them. Lana is not in my position physically. She is better off. And she has help. Her daughter gets paid $11 an hour to do what it is that, first of all, a mother would be expected to do. And second of all, a daughter who is living with you would be expected to do. They're getting free money because they're abusing and playing the system, and they can do that because they have each other. I don't have anybody. It's I do what these people want me to do, or I'm a terrible fucking person. No, you need to shut the fuck up and find out what's going on. Between the police, the Bollingers, the media, and all the fucking crazies on the internet that came after me, yeah, that's a lot of fucking slander and a lot of fucking abuse that does destroy a man's life. That's why I was fucking suicidal. Before Natalie died, I needed help. I went to her mother for help. I went to therapists for help. I went to my case manager for help. And Tamara, out of every single person who offered to help, Tamara's the only one who actually helped me how I needed. And she quit her job after knowing about the things that I was going through. To go take her son, who's also got Asperger's, to make sure the things that I have gone through don't happen to her son. Miss Laura could have stuck up for me. She could have spoke up that night at my grandma's funeral when Graham, the fucking moron, who'd never bothered to find out what was going on, but was paid to do so. It's fucked up. I spent all that money to move everything over to Tabby's because it was supposed to be safe there. I spent that money on rent over at Tabby's so that I could have a roof over my head and internet access and a safe place to work on these things. But it wasn't safe. Joshua Eichelberger made sure of that. And Tabby didn't want to be alone. She didn't want to be alone. So she allowed that man to abuse her and her daughters for years. Now she still doesn't want to be alone, so she replaced that dude with Graham. The dude who didn't keep his word. The dude who fucked me repeatedly. Because it didn't matter to him that not keeping his word would fuck me so greatly. He didn't fucking care. Getting drunk was more important to him. Christians, go fucking figure.